Hey guys, I only have a few minutes to make this video, so it might be a short one, but I've promised an update of the 65 gallon, and here it is. For those of you who have been or have watched recent updates of this, or I guess they're not recent, but updates of this tank from 5 months ago, see that it's pretty different. The scape is essentially the same, it's just grown in massively, and this video comes on the tails of me doing a huge trim and cutback as of 2 weeks ago. So what was basically happening in this tank prior to this video was that the crypts had completely taken over. There was no bare space at the front. It was pretty crazy. They've really taken off in this tank. So I took them out of the front area of the tank, and I also went in between them and kind of weeded them out so it was a bit thinner, so that they would get more light to the bottom. And also because I felt a little bit bad for the fish, as I felt like they were getting a bit choked out and only had room to swim up top instead of in along the bottom of the tank, which I know they like to do. So those are pretty much the only differences. When I tore apart the nano tank in the kitchen, I put all of the extra baby tears and hair grass in here. And so for the past 2 weeks, this has been surviving in this tank. I fully expected it to just die off right away. I thought I would just put it in here to give it a try. But surprisingly, it seems to be doing okay. It's obviously not quite as lush and fluffy as it would be in the other two tanks, because the light obviously isn't as strong in this tank and everything is a bit lower tech. But it's certainly not dying, and it seems to be taking root. So I'm really excited about that, and with a little bit of luck, I'm hoping it'll start to spread a bit, as I really like the way it looks in here. I think it looks nice with all of the dark green and red of the crypts to have a little bit of bright green with the baby tears. So now I feel like we have a nice we have a nice variation in color in here, which when I first started out in this hobby I found really hard to obtain, especially because everyone tells you that red plants are really hard to keep in a lower tech setup, but I just don't think that's true if you're using crypts, because they're very red and they're very easy to grow. I even put a bunch of clippings of crypts in my friend's just regular gravel bottom tank with a really shitty light, and they seem to be doing fine and are actually spreading a bit. So, I mean, he doesn't fertilize at all. The light only has one bulb. It's in a basement. I mean, there's no way I thought those plants would do well, and they are. So anyone who's starting out and wants a plant that does well, I really recommend getting crypts. They also, if you're aware that they often die off right away, what's called crypt melt, they'll completely disappear and you'll think that they're gone, but if you leave the roots in place, they'll come back with a vengeance, and that's exactly what happened in my tank. They all melted off and now they're doing great. So as far as the fish, the Congo tetras are still doing really well. Still bright and colorful. I haven't lost any. Some of them are looking a little bit worse for wear, and I don't know if that's just because they're getting old or what. But they're really excited, obviously, this morning. I've just turned the light on, and I think that they're hoping for some food. And I'll try and find the new rainbow shark. Some of you know that my one that I'd had for 8 years died earlier this year, and I got another one to replace him, just a baby, and I'll try and find him for you. Some of you are asking to see him. So he usually hangs out down in here. Oh, here he comes. So he's pretty small. I'd say maybe about 2-3 inches, but he's doing really well. He's really colorful. He eats well. He's also friendly, just like my last one. So I'm hoping that this is going to be another example of me getting to have one of these guys for another 8 or 9 years. And I think this is a male as well, so which is what I wanted, as they're longer and leaner, and the females are quite plump and round, and I feel like I like the look of the long and lean better. There haven't been many new additions. I did get a few zebra danios, which I'm having a hard time getting them to stay still to show you. There's one from a friend who didn't want them anymore, and I've always avoided getting danios because I thought they're kind of boring beginner fish, but they're actually some of my favorite ones in here. They're really beautiful and active and interesting. So yeah, I guess that's it really. If you guys have any questions or you want me to make a video about something more specific, please ask and I'll do it. But this is the most recent update of the 65 gallon. Thanks.